Hi guys, thank you for joining me for this 4-point kneeling Pilates series. I love 4-point kneeling because it is such a good way to get into all the different parts of your body and have a really good all-rounded workout, so I hope you enjoy. I have a bit of blocked ears because I've been recovering from a cold, so I'll really try to be clear and not yell at you, so we'll see how we go. Coming into a comfortable position to start with, cross-legged. Oh, I should say I'm wearing 1 kilo weights on my ankles. You can feel free to do the same or go without, totally up to you. The weights will just make it a little bit heavier through the legs. See how you go. All right, so coming into a comfortable position, cross-legged, just rest your arms on your knees. And let's do some big rolls of the shoulders. My shoulders are grinding because I've been sitting at a desk all day. So just trying to get out all of that tension and any knots. And let's bring those shoulders up to the ears and then drop them down. And again. One more. Let's tuck that chin towards the chest. We are lengthening through the back of the neck. And bring that chin up towards the ceiling. Lengthening through the front of the throat. And taking one ear over to our shoulder. Going over to the other side. And coming back to the center. Holding onto those knees, let's C-shape through the spine. So our chin comes towards our chest. We're going to roll backwards. Try to separate in between those shoulder blades. So really pulling back here. Breathing into this stretch. So we're expanding through the ribs. And let's roll through our seated position. Arch through the spine the opposite way. So holding onto those knees. Looking up towards the ceiling. Find that reverse arch through the spine. And let's roll through those two poses. So rolling backwards and opening forwards. Finding that full range of motion. Let's go one more either way. And coming back to the middle. Alrighty, let's get stuck into it. So we're going to come into a 4-point kneeling position. So finding ourselves with our hands directly underneath our shoulders and our knees directly underneath our hips. Now let's just feel how it feels if we really collapse into those shoulders. And you'll notice that you are heavy through the shoulders, you lose that connection through the ribs, and you're really sinking through that lumbar spine. So we want to make sure that we don't default back into this position. So we're going to lift up out of the shoulder sockets, try and shorten the distance between the bottom of our rib and the top of our hip, and lift up out of those shoulder sockets. So really squeezing through the waist, lifting up out of those hips. A nice strong position here. With our elbows, we want to have a tiny little bend, so we're not locking into those ligaments as you might want to do. So try to have the inside of those elbows facing towards each other. And that tiny little bend, squeezing through the waist here. Our eye gaze is down towards the mat, so we're making sure we're not looking in front of us and breaking that line of our spine. So nice long line all the way down our back. We're going to extend our right arm and our left leg out long in line with our body, and then step it back so our hand comes underneath our shoulder and our knee comes underneath our hips, and then we're going to swap to the other side. So we're just alternating these climbs, really working on squeezing through the waist and bringing our hand and our knee directly underneath us. So we're trying to reduce that little wobble as we alternate between our sides. Nice. Alternating here. Nice and strong through the core. Now what you might feel yourself doing here is arching through the spine to lift that leg up. We want to make sure we keep that nice short rib to hip connection so we're nice and tight through the waist. Exhale to extend, inhale to come back in. Let's go one more to either side and coming back into our 4-point kneeling position. Bottom comes towards our heels. Our arms are out in front. Let's find our child's pose position. Deep breaths here. And let's come back into our 4-point kneeling position. Beautiful. We're going to extend our right arm and our left leg out long. We're going to bring our elbow to our knee. As we do, let's C-shape through the spine. Knee comes towards our elbow. We're tucking our nose in. Exhale, we are lengthening out long. Let's go for 8. Squeezing through that supporting glute on our right side to keep ourselves nice and steady. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, last one, lengthening out long, and let's bring our hand and our knee down, rolling through those shoulders and hips. Let's reset for the other side. So our left arm is lengthening out long and our right leg is lengthening out long, hugging the elbow to the knee, C-shape through the spine, exhale, lengthening out long. We're here for 8, 7, try to feel the core as you curl in and the glute as you extend out. 5 more. 4, making sure we're lifting up out of that supporting shoulder socket. 3 more. 2. Last one. And let's step that hand and knee down. Now we'll come to a high child's pose. So our knees are going to come out wide. Arms are out wide and a little bit further in front of us, and our tailbone is pressing back and up on that diagonal. From here you can just sweep your chest side to side, and it should be quite a nice stretch through those shoulders and through the chest. One more, either side, and coming back to the center. My foot keeps cramping. Alrighty, hands are coming back underneath our shoulders, knees are underneath our hips. Again, right arm and left leg are lengthening out long. From here, we're going to drop our toe and our fingers down towards the mat and then lift them back up, squeezing into the glute. We're here for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4 more. Thinking about that rib to hip connection, nice and strong through the waist. 2 more. Holding it up on this last one. From here, can we open our leg and our arm out to the side and then back in line with our body? We're here for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4 more, 3, 2, last one. We're going to bring the arm and leg back in line, replace the hand, replace the knee, rolling through those wrists, and we'll reset for the other side. Let's just catch our breath. Whew. It's amazing how much more puffed you get when you haven't done much exercise for a week, having been unwell. Okay, other side. So we have our left hand and our right leg, dropping the fingertips and the toes down to the mat, lifting back up. We're here for 8, 7, 6, 5. Focusing on that control through our torso. 3 more. 2. We're going to lift up on this last one. Now we're going to open our arm and our leg out to the side and then bring it back in line with our body. So imagine you're a clock face going 5 minutes either side. And as you're bringing yourself slightly off that center, you're squeezing into that waist to keep you nice and stable. 3 more. 2, I'm kicking the couch. Last one. And bringing the hand underneath and the knee underneath, rolling through those wrists. Let's come into a nice spinal stretch here. So it's our happy cat, grumpy cat. Knees underneath hips, hands underneath shoulders. Deep inhale through the nose. We're going to C-shape through the spine. Chin comes towards the chest, and we're finding that full arch through the spine, separating through those shoulder blades. And then deep exhale, our tailbone presses back, our chest comes forward, and we look forward, finding that full C shape the other way. Working through these two poses, trying to work on that articulation through the spine, finding that full range. Couple more here. If you want, you can add on, so looking over to our right hip as we come into our happy cat, coming back into that grumpy cat, and then looking over towards our left hip, and just alternating sides here. If you want, you can add a bit of a roll in, so imagine doing a circle shape through the chest, through the hips, and then out through the hips, out through the chest. So big circles through the body. Finding that flexibility through the spine and reversing that circle. One way will probably feel a little bit less natural than the other way. Just enjoying that stretch through the spine. All right. We're going to bring our hands a little bit further away from us now. So stepping those hands further away from us, so that if you were to bend your elbows are going to be underneath your shoulders, and then your forearms and palms are pressed into the mat. And again here, really press into those palms to help you lift up and out of those shoulder sockets. We're going to come into some donkey kicks here. So we're going to extend our left leg straight behind on that diagonal. So we're squeezing into that glute. Again here, we're thinking about that rib to hip connection. We're going to bend the knee and then flex the foot. So our heel is pressing towards the ceiling. As we exhale, push that heel as high as we can towards the ceiling as we lengthen through the back of the knee. So making sure we're trying to lift it up rather than extending it back. So we're really high into those glutes. So extending that leg up, heel is pressing towards the ceiling, and then bending through the knee to tap the mat. We're going to extend here for 16. Tap. 15, 14, 13. Still thinking about that rib to hip connection. So we're nice and tight through the core. We're squeezing as high as we can into that glute and lifting that heel as high as we can. Making sure here that we're not collapsing through the chest. We're really lifting up out of those shoulder sockets. Let's go for 8 more. 7, 6, 5, 4 more, 3, 2, last one. Can we lift that leg up? We're extending here. Just to finish, we're going to pulse. See if you can bend that knee just 2 inches and then extend that last 2 inches of that extension. Let's go for 16, 15, squeezing high into that glute, starting to burn now, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5 more, 4, 3, almost there. Last one, final squeeze and extension, and release. Well done. Pressing back into child's pose. If you want a little bit more of a stretch through those shoulders, you can come up onto those fingertips and then press the chest down. So you'll feel that a little bit more through the shoulders. Whew, that one always gets you in the arms and the glutes. Let's stretch through our waist. We're going to walk our hands around to the left and just find that nice stretch down the side of our waist, side of our arm. Exhaling into this pose. So it's like you're making yourself into a small C-shaped position. And let's walk those hands around to the other side, stretching the opposite way. And let's come back to the center. Alrighty, let's go to the other side. So elbows underneath shoulders, forearms and palms are pressed into the mat. Again, just reset, thinking about that rib to hip connection. Extending the right leg behind, bend the knee, flex the foot. Exhale, extending that leg, heel towards the ceiling. Inhale, tapping that knee. We're here for 16, 15, 14, 13, 11. Lifting up out of those shoulder sockets. Squeezing into that supporting glute is going to help you keep your stability, and you're going to feel it a little bit more on this side because we just worked that opposite glute. Let's go for 6 more. 5, 4 more. Whew. On our last one, let's extend that leg up long. We have our pulses, so just bending and extending that last little part of the movement. 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 6, 5 more, 3, last one, final extension here, and release. Well done. Pressing back into child's pose. Let's just catch our breath here. Coming next into our shoulder stretch. So hands are back underneath our shoulders, knees are underneath our hips. Let's reach that left arm up to the ceiling. So really find that twist through the spine. Then we're going to thread that arm through the gap between our hand and our knee. So the outside of our arm comes onto the ground. We're resting on that shoulder. Rest that ear on the mat. From here you can just move to find a position where you find that stretch through the shoulder. If you want a little bit more here, release your supporting hand, cross it over to your opposite hip. Try and open that right shoulder, look up towards the ceiling, and you'll find that nice twist through the spine. Exhaling into this stretch. Releasing that arm, let's come back into our 4-point kneeling position and over to the other side. Right arm reaches up, let's thread it through. Outside of the arm is on the mat. Find that little stretch through the shoulder. And then you've got that option if you want. Release that left arm, cross it over to your opposite hip, open up that shoulder, look up towards the ceiling, exhaling into this twist. One more breath here. And let's release that arm. Coming back. Alrighty, we are almost there. For our next one, we're going to bring our right elbow underneath our right shoulder. And then you're going to rotate that forearm and palm 90 degrees. So it's pointing, what is that, perpendicular? It's been a while since I've done maths. So it's a 90-degree angle from where you were. So you're pointing forwards on your mat. From here, we're going to extend our left leg straight behind and then open that hip and waist like you want to turn it towards the front. Whoop! When I've got blocked ears, I lose all my balance. All right, so from here, to stop us from losing our balance, then you can move your left hand to wherever you feel like you need it to stop you from falling forward. We're going to inhale, squeeze through the waist, bring that left knee towards our shoulder, and then exhale, lengthen it out along the same line of our body. So inhale, bring it in, exhale, lengthening it out long. Let's squeeze through the waist. We're here for 8. So what will help you here is really squeezing into that supporting glute, lifting up out of that supporting shoulder socket and squeezing through the waist. 3, 4, 5, 6, almost there. Let's lengthen that leg out long on this last one. From here, we're going to drop the toe down to tap the mat and then lift it back up in line with our body. Let's go for 8, squeezing through the waist here. 7, 6, try to have as little weight as you can through that left hand. 5, 4 more, 3, 2. Let's lift it up on this last one. Now just to finish, taking a breath in. As we exhale, can we lift that leg a tiny bit more and release? Well done. Coming into child's pose, and you can just wiggle your bottom to either side of your heels, stretching through the side of our hips. We are almost there. Let's reset for the other side. So we've got our left elbow now underneath our shoulder. Rotate that forearm and palm to face towards the back side of our mat. We're going to extend that right leg straight behind and then open the hip and the waist and the chest to face towards where our fingers are pointing. And then again, just move that right hand to wherever you feel like you might fall forward, trying to just have those fingertips on the mat, squeezing through the waist. Let's bend that knee in towards our shoulder and then lengthen it out long. We're here for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4 more. It doesn't matter if you can't get your knee all the way to your shoulder, just go as far as you can, squeezing into that waist. 3 more. 2. Last one, let's lengthen that leg out long. We're going to drop the toe down towards the mat and lift it back up. We're here for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4 more. 3. I'm going to lift it up on this last one. We're almost there. Let's take a breath in. And then exhale, lift it 1 inch higher. And release. Well done. Let's come into that 4-point kneeling position. We'll finish off with a stretch. So we're going to tuck those toes under. Press the heels into the mat. Chest comes towards the thighs. We're in our A-frame position. So here we're trying to focus on gradually pressing those heels a little bit closer down towards the mat. Chest towards the thighs. Stretching through the back of those legs. And you can pedal through those feet, bending and extending into those knees. Let's press both heels into the mat. From here, we're going to slowly bend our knees in towards to tap the mat and then extend through the back of the legs. Press the heels into the ground. Just working through the bend and extend. Squeezing through the waist. We're still lifting up out of those shoulder sockets. Let's go for 3 more. 2. Last one. And release. Well done. Let's finish off with our stretch. Starting off with our arms. So just crossing one arm over to the other side. Stretching through that shoulder. Try to exhale into this pose. And over to the other side. And release. Stretching through our wrists, so just bring our fingertips down towards our knees, press the palms into the ground, and then just walk, bending and extending through those elbows, stretching through those wrists and those forearms. Nice. Alrighty, glute stretch. So we're going to sit on our bottom, cross our right ankle just above our left knee, press the right knee down towards the mat, and then from here, see if we can lengthen through the spine and fold forward. And just find your range here where you get that nice stretch through the glute. Exhaling, bringing yourself a little bit further into that stretch. And release. Let's go to the other side. So left ankle is crossing over. We're lengthening through the spine. Try to press that left knee down towards the mat as we lengthen and then fold. Bringing ourselves forward. That's my watch saying it's time to wrap up, but we're almost there. One more breath here, really exhaling into this glute stretch. I don't know if you can hear, but the rain is really pouring down now. It's a good night to be inside doing Pilates. Alrighty, coming into our cross-legged position, just to finish, rolling through the shoulders let's take some deep breaths to finish. Deep inhale through the nose. I can't really breathe in through my nose. And exhale through the mouth. Couple more breaths like this. Inhale. And exhale. One more breath here. Hopefully next time I will be able to breathe better. We are all done. Thank you so much for joining me. Don't forget to like if you like this video, or comment to tell me what you liked or what you want to see next time. And don't forget to subscribe. I will see you in the next video.